is going on, young One Piece world? It is your boy, your man, your homie, Soge Kami, back in the building talking about One Piece chapter 1121, and it's called The Ebb and Flow of the Ages. This chapter I thought was super sick, really brought everything together, and it had me left me with some impressions, and I'm gonna go through it, but I think we could kind of pinpoint who that character is at the end. So let's get into it. Alright, first there's no cover page, so we're not going to catch up with Yamato this week. We'll be back not next week, the week after that, because it is a break week. That's right, it's a break week. We gotta tough it up, it is what it is. So this chapter, one of the things that stood out to me is Luffy really took on his mentor role. I don't know if I'm crazy or not, but when you see Bonnie charging up her Nika punch, it really looked to me like there was a parallel, like I was looking at the father-son Kamehameha, and it was like the father-daughter freaking Nika punch. And I think that could be especially poignant as Oda is a father of, I think, like one or two daughters himself. So I don't know, and with the recent passing of Akira Toriyama, it could have been just like a homage to him, but I was definitely looking at it a little funny, because like the poses weren't exactly the same, but we did get Luffy with the two hands, her with the arm in the back. They're just, I don't know, that's what I saw when I looked at it. That was the energy I was getting, at least, and I think that is what it's really about. But Luffy really took on his mentor role in this chapter. He's really just bigging up Bonnie, letting her know that anything is possible, and I love that. This chapter had a lot of comparisons that I found. Like, one thing happened on one chapter, or one thing happened on one page, and then on the opposite side of the page, something related happened. Or like you see in this chapter, there's a panel with them talking to Blackbeard on one side. Where's Blackbeard? And then them talking to Shanks on one side, and then right down in the middle is Buggy. So it's like a triangle. They're trying to keep everything in like symmetry to show things that are related, and I think that worked really well to kind of direct your thoughts on what to think about. There was a page where they're talking about Kuma, and then it's like talking about all the races of people that are hunted, and then it highlights the Buccaneers, and it highlights the Lunarians, it highlights the three-eyed people. So those are the people who we're supposed to be thinking of, who are important. And I love to see King in this chapter, because King always has the sickest design. Hopefully you're coming back, bro. We miss you and we love you. All right. So in this chapter, they talk about the ancient weapons are still out there, and then one of the first things that you see is Poseidon on one side and Vivi on the other side. So like, what are we supposed to think about that? Is Vivi an ancient weapon? Is that what we're supposed to think? Because that's what the pages are telling me to think. Now, my other thought was, I felt like something about Momonosuke was like ancient weapon-y, but he wasn't here. So like, maybe Vivi's not an ancient weapon, or conversely, Vivi is an ancient weapon and Momonosuke is not. So it is what it is. Hopefully one day we'll figure out what made Momonosuke so special. Anyway, going back to the chapter, Marco is still on the island, on Whitebeard's island. I thought with the last time we saw him, is him talking to that old lady, I forget her name, that he was going to be going off to either Egghead to figure out, ask Vegapunk about, Whitebeard Jr. Well, now he's probably going to think Vegapunk is dead, so he's not going to have that opportunity. Or he was going to go to Impel Down, but neither of those happened. He just chilled, and the old lady doesn't seem to be there, so I wonder what happens from here. Now, Saturn says that Bonnie is using a power that she doesn't even comprehend, and that made me really think about how, for Luffy, like, his lack of comprehending things is what gets him, was what doesn't bog his mind down with like thoughts that are irrelevant. And I think that is the power of not only his devil fruit, but of Luffy himself. He can cause people to just think in a simple-minded way I can, and that allows them to get to a point where they can just focus on doing, not if you can do it, you know. And I think that that's beautiful in a lot of ways. I think that that's beautiful, and I think that that is one of Luffy's best qualities about him, and I think that's why a lot of people fuck with him, just because of that. Let's see. So Bonnie has her speech, and I think that Bonnie's speech is amazing. I really felt something from it, and it definitely reminded me a lot of Brooke's speech, where Bonnie's saying, you know, she wishes she was dead. She wished she was dead so much, but like, for surviving, she's like, she's felt so blessed for everything that she learned and her family had done for her, and I think that that was beautiful. And I think she kind of had like a moment, not really like Brooke, where he says, "I'm so glad I lived," but she kind of had like a moment like that. Or it just was a very Straw Hat speech, because you know how the Straw Hats, I feel like a lot of them had moments in their past where they wished that they were dead, or they wish that they, you know, that they tried to smile through their own struggles. And I think Bonnie had that so much in spades, and she's just in a much better position now, and I love to see that for her. So Luffy and Bonnie do the father-daughter punch, and Saturn is hit. He's like getting torn to pieces, and he seems to be falling to the ocean. Now we'll see what happens when he gets into the ocean, if he'll disintegrate or if he'll like just sink to the bottom. Who knows? But this is the perfect opportunity for Katarina Devon to slip in and maybe do something devious. So there is a line from Vegapunk that says certain people can't be oppressed, and I think that that is true. We've seen this, not just members of the D clan, but like, you know, people like Kalgara and Wiper couldn't be oppressed. Those people couldn't be oppressed. People who were just like, are always going to fight for what they believe in, like Zoro can't be oppressed. You know, some people just don't think that they just got that dog in them. That's what the D stands for, that dog. And yeah, so this whole, and then at the end of the chapter we have that sick panel with I think it's like maybe 12 characters on it. It's, if I can remember correctly, Luffy, Shanks, Blackbeard, Buggy, and then it's a Kainu on the one side, and then it's Dragon, and then it's a mystery character who I'll try to guess, and then it's Emu, and then it's Kobe, Aokiji, Garling, and then Sabo, right? At first I was looking at it from a perspective like the characters on this side and the character on this side on this page and this page match up, but now I think it's like the best way for me to look at it is it's like would be a Kainu, and then it would be Kobe, and then it would be Dragon, and it would be the mystery character, or Dragon and Garling. That would be the other two, Dragon and Garling. And then it'd be Aokiji and the mystery character, or Aokiji and Garling. And then it would be Emu and Sabo. Those would be the best. Emu and Sabo for sure. Kobe and Akainu for sure. I was talking about this with a friend. Kobe and Akainu would just be because the moment in Marineford, both characters are gonna have like this eye on Fleet Admiral, and we know that they fight for Fleet Admiral. So I would hope, and their ideologies conflict with one another. You know, Kobe is somebody who cherishes life, and Akainu is willing to end the life of his own comrades for his own justice. They have conflicting justices, and only one of them can lead the Marines. And since Kobe is the hero of the Marines, and he has a dream of being Fleet Admiral, I feel like Kobe's dream would have to go head to head against the Akainu's dream at some point, and you know, that would just be the end point for that. You know, Sabo versus Emu, that has to be a thing at some point. Aokiji versus Garling, I believe that Aokiji didn't like living under the Celestial Dragon's thumb. He was trained by Garp. He was that was one of the issues that he had with, and he didn't like he didn't like how they take the lives of people so innocently. You can see that in Ohara, and after Ace, I think Ace dying kind of had an impact on him, and seeing how that affected Garp, and then Garp stayed in the Marines. I don't think that he could go with how the Celestial Dragons control the Marines and have them do that kind of thing. So he fought for his position. Now, Garling is like a similar, like, antithesis of him. He fights for the Marines, or the Celestial Dragons, and he does exactly what the same. He believes it, and he's in a similar position. He's not at the top, but he was strong. So I feel like Garling and Aokiji would be a good matchup for one another based on the matchups we see here. Now, there are other characters who have certain connections to one another, but like I don't think are matched up in the same way. Like Emu and Dragon. Dragon would be the leader of the revolutionaries who go directly against Emu, right? Or Emu and Akainu. I'm sorry, not Emu and Akainu. Dragon and Akainu. Even Emu and Akainu, because Akainu doesn't like how he's getting taken orders from, and Emu is basically the one who can give out those orders. Garling and Akainu, even possibly, for the same reason, you know. Garling and Sabo, you know. All these people, in a weird way, are connected to one another. Now, lastly, I'm just going to mention the character who I think could be at the bottom underneath Dragon. Now, originally, I was thinking, based on context clues about who we've seen hidden in the last couple of chapters, right? The man with the burn scar couldn't be him. The man with the burn scar has to be Jaguar D. Sol. So that's not going to be who it is. But it could be Rox Dizabek. Now, we haven't seen a body, we haven't even seen a face of Rox Dizabek, so just how much they're showing more and more of this character and they're silhouetting him could mean to be that they are saving him and want us to be thinking about who this person could be. That's one of the biggest mysteries that I think is going on right now, and it could be really, really interesting when we find out eventually who this is and at what time. Hopefully very soon. And the next character that could be would be it could be Figureland Skanks. You know, a lot of people don't know, but there is this idea that Shanks has a brother, and he's the captain of the God Knights. God Knights were mentioned by Dragon. And when Dragon said when the God Knights arrive, then that's when the war has started, you know. So the captain of the God Knights and Dragon do have some, like, Dragon knows of them and he's weary of them coming. Now, this Shanks has a brother theory came up when Shanks goes to see the Gorosei, right? They intentionally hide Shanks' face, so we never get to see Shanks' scar in that picture. So it is, I hypothesized that wasn't even Shanks, it would have been Shanks' brother, and he went to warn somebody about something. So we must see where that goes from there, but I'm leaning towards Rox Dizabek before that being Rox Dizabek before believing that Shanks has a brother. But I don't think that that's impossible because we don't know anything about Shanks' family. But yes, that's it for the chapter. I thought this was a great chapter. My favorite part was definitely that last panel. And in the next chapter, I'm looking to hear more from Buggy, hear more from Shanks, hear more from Blackbeard, just like a catch up on them. I would love to see the Straw Hats touch the water and then maybe something moving on, and we'll see where we go from there. I'm pretty excited. I want to end up seeing what happens to Saturn when he touches that water. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought or in the comment section. Like, subscribe, let me know you're live down below. And thank you again for watching. This has been Sogekami, and I'm